Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Hoax is a bluffing, social deduction, perhaps, type game. If you ever played Coup, it reminds me of Coup a lot. And Coup reminds me of like one of those games that just kind of blew up and everybody knows and likes, and I do too. And Hoax may have came out before it. I think there's some dispute over that, but maybe not as popular, right? I think Hoax is a very good game. Now, the reason why I'm purging Hoax, because I already have Coup. My family knows Coup. I played it first. It's easy for me to get a table. I know it very well. I don't really need two of these. But Hoax is a strong addition to this genre. I think Hoax is something that if you played Coup out and or you've never played Coup and you want to start somewhere, Hoax is a great place to start. So Hoax is one of those bluffing games where you could be any character in the game. You're assigned one, but you can bluff and pretend like you're somebody else because you want to utilize their powers. And in this game, you will want to do that because you want people to kind of call you out on it and be confused about who you are, because if they guess incorrectly and you are the person you say you are, then you're going to automatically win the game, and that can be strong. So you kind of want to mind screw them a little bit, and Hoax is really fun for that. Quick to play, easy to teach. Pretty much anyone can play with this. You got to be okay bluffing. I know some people are adverse to that, but if you can bluff a little bit in this game, and you know, it's actually kind of fun even when somebody can't bluff, and you think they can't bluff, and they do bluff you, is super fun. So it's that whole meta game going on. Hoax is a huge win for us. We ended up purging it just because we don't play this style of game a lot. And we had some other deduction bluffing games that we liked a little bit better. But this is a strong addition and one I can highly recommend, and that's Hoax. Here is Hoax by Fantasy Flight Games. You can tell it's a very portable game. It's very square. And quite honestly, it could have been even smaller than this if they wanted to. It's called a game of secret identities. We have a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. And then we'll just kind of open up the components here. You're going to get a bunch of these little chits, and they're going to be very small. You're going to get some cards in the game. You're going to get your characters, which are really just portraits of who you are. Nobody has any... Well, they have special powers, but they're not really listed on here, which they kind of should be. And then you have these that'll be utilized for game purposes. So, and these are very nice cards. Very nice linen finish. Fantasy Flight does a really good job. And then you're going to have the player aids that will be here. And everybody will need these because this is where the powers are going to be listed. So even if you're trying to use a power that you don't have, you'll be able to utilize this. And these little chits will fit on here if you are an imposter. So that's kind of how that works. Everything is really good. It's Fantasy Flight, about what you expect. Here's a rulebook for Hoax. This is all just flavor text and an overview of the game. Then you're going to jump into components over here with a picture of everything, and then the setup. Playing the game is pretty easy to do. Then you have 3 possible actions. 1 you must do, and 2 that are maybes. And then they kind of go into more detail about this, but that's fairly easy. Calling the hoax and how you vote and how you score is going to be very important, and then winning the game. There's some additional rules that can go in here if you want to play multiple games. And particularly this is the advanced game. They don't say it, but the immunities is the advanced game if you want to include that. Very easy to do. Rulebook's very simple. You have a quick reference on the back of it. You probably can read this in 15 minutes or less. The game is super simple, and you'll be up and running. So the character cards are going to be shuffled at the beginning of the game. Everybody's going to randomly get one. And you will only be able to know who you are, and you will not know who anybody else is, and they won't know who you are. So if you're the X, so be it. Then on a turn, you're going to take this player aid here, which will have the possible actions on it, and you'll choose one action to be. Even though I am the X, I can claim to be anybody that I want. So the first thing you have to do on turn is you have to claim one of these privileges, and I can just choose whatever I want. I'm the distant cousin. I'm going to take either 1 cash or 1 prestige. Now, you know that's not the case. You know that I'm actually the ex-wife, but nobody else knows that to be sure, right? Because my card would be there, but I'm going to claim that. And so I would just take either 1 cash or 1 prestige from over here, and I would take the token, and that would be good. So in this case, I want the 1 cash. I would take the 1 cash. Nobody said anything. I took it, and next player would go. Now, I could investigate other people. So if I wanted to investigate somebody, let's say somebody investigated me, I'd put the X in here, because you know I'm the X, and I would take 3 other random cards. I'd shuffle them up, and then the person can look at the cards and know that I'm one of these 4 people. So, for example, if they know that they're the son-in-law, they can kind of take it out. Now they have a 1 in 3 chance of knowing who I am, for example. Or if they know somebody else, or whatever. So you could do that. The other thing you can do on a turn is you can accuse somebody of being something. They can say, hey, you're the X, and we'll get back to that in just a second. So if you want to accuse somebody, you would take the card from this deck, who you think it is, In this case, they say, hey, we think you're the distant cousin. They wouldn't say it to anybody. They would just hand this to me. If they are correct, then I would be out of the game. If they are incorrect, then they would be out of the game. So if they had chosen the X, then I would be out of the game, and they would continue on. Now, when I claim, remember earlier, I'm the ex-wife, I told you I was claiming to be the distant cousin. Somebody could call Hoax on that and say, hey, I don't think you're the distant cousin. So everybody would vote. If they voted up, if they think I'm the distant cousin, then I would just go ahead and take the claim here and move on. If they thumb down, the majority is thumbs down, then I would tell them. So if I was not, let's say I'm not the distant cousin, I would not take the claim. I would put an imposter token on there, and I could not take that action any longer. Now, let's say I was claiming to be the ex-wife, and they said, no, that's a hoax. They vote down and say, you're not the hoax. Then I would turn over the ex-wife, showcase that I am, and I would win the game. That's pretty much how a game of Hoax is going to go. You're going to continue on. Hopefully, either somebody says the group says you're not somebody, and you actually are, or you eliminate everybody else at the table. You can play multiple games if you like. Now, there is an advance here with the immunity. You can claim immunity, so this is an optional rule, but it's listed here, so I'll show it to you really quickly. One there says, the distant cousin is immune to the chef. So if the chef takes his thing, you can say, I'm the distant cousin, and I'm immune to that. Now, somebody could call Hoax on that, of course. We've already gone through that, but just know that's an extra wrinkle you can add into the game as the advanced variant. Who should buy this game? Anyone who likes bluffing games. You want a quick playing bluffing game with a little bit of that social deduction in it, but it's more bluffing than that. This could definitely be it. If you don't like social deduction games, this might be one for you to check out because it's very minor. It's more of a bluffing game. And really, a lot of people probably give me some flack about even saying it's a social deduction game. Very quick to play, easy rules, can play with a high number of people. I think this is a very great addition to most people's library, and I think it fell under their radar. And the artwork is good. It's a very good package, and Hoax is one I can easily recommend to you.